I've lost friends.
When I moved to Nashville, I had this kind of distinctly carved out 5-record arc that I wanted to make 5 sort of conceptual country records that served. This is so heady, and at this point, but yeah, so that was done. It was over. I finished that last record, and I always said, and I got to this point where I don't know, like I kind of wanted my name back for myself. I felt like my identity had just become a brand, you know. And to be at airports or something, and you hear somebody say your name, and you turn around and you realize like you've never met this person, and it's be a pleasant encounter, but all the same, I was just, I don't know. So and then I realized I was always a big fan of the Derek and the Dominoes record, and I thought that was a really neat concept that he hid behind a character to make a very vulnerable rock and roll record of love songs. And I don't know if he would have done it with his name on it. The name came from when I was in my early 20s. I'd gotten out of the Navy and moved back to this town in Kentucky, and there was a bartender, this guy Dave, who, you know, wore like a black trench coat and just stood outside like flipping a Zippo all the time. And when I'd walk in every day, he would be like, "Johnny Blue Skies." And to this day, I have no idea why. So when I did an anime film for a rock and roll record in Japan, I put it under Johnny Blue Skies Productions. And then on the Sailor's Guide to Earth record, there was a little nod to, it was a very nautical themed album, so the inside we had this old sort of 16th century illustrated nautical map with the sea monsters and everything. I used to see those when I was a kid and think they were really cool. And I put on the map, there's a little island down in the corner, and it's like this peg-leg pirate with my face. And it just says, you know, in this territory, like, beware of the dread pirate Johnny Blue Skies. So when I needed a name, that just seemed like a pretty obvious choice. Mostly, to answer your question, because the paperwork was already done.